Hey guys, it's Christine. Happy Thursday. We're here at Quilter's Corner, and as you know, we've been doing demos on Thursdays. So I know I mentioned I might do stripology, but that's a little complicated for me to do in this time slot we have. And so today I'm going to demonstrate the Creative Grids Cat's Cradle tool. I'm going to wait for a few more people to join us before we really get going. I'm so happy you are joining us, though. It seems like we're into day, 300 of this shelter at home. Hope you're getting lots of sewing done. I'm either here getting more products online. If you look right now, we have a lot of boutiques online because people are looking for those to make masks. I've been at home making masks, and I'm also trying to sew a new sample because someday we're going to have the shop open to you guys again, and wouldn't it be fun to see a few new samples? So there's all sorts of stuff going on. I hope you're getting a lot of sewing done, though, and some other things, and not getting too crazy. So to the Creative Grids Cat's Cradles ruler. This is, there's two sizes. I'm going to start with the first one that was released. These are both designed by Deb Heatherly. And we've got some patterns that go with it. She's also got a group called Grids Girls on Facebook, and she does quilt along. She does mystery quilts using these tools. And I've taught one of her patterns here in the shop called Around We Go. That's a sort of a round robin type quilt, and each round you learn how to use a new ruler. And I've taught it before. I'm sure I'll teach it again once we get back going with classes in the shop. Hey, it's good to see all you joining us. Thank you so much. It's sort of a fun thing to do. All right, so I'm going to flip my camera around so that you can see my tools. And all right, now I got to figure out where things are. Don't mind me. All right. Oh my goodness, that reflection's horrid. Here we go. There we go. Cat's Cradle is Creative Grids. There you go, Cat's Cradle. Oh, there's my initials. I don't want to lose it every time I teach. And that shows the units you can make. So right above the Cat's Cradle sign is the left one is what we're calling the Cat's Cradle unit, and the one on the right is another unit you can make with this tool. Here we go again with those QR codes, right? You can use your phone either with an app, a QR reader app. If you scan it, it'll take you right to a YouTube video that will show you how to use this ruler. You can also just use the camera on your phone to look at that QR code. It will show you a link. Click on the link and that will take you to the YouTube video. So, again, what I like about the Creative Grids rulers is all this gripper. So everywhere you see these frosted areas, that's actually gripper on the back of the ruler that keeps the ruler from sliding on your fabric. I need a better background, guys. All right. The other thing about this ruler, well, I guess I was better over here. Sorry for the confusion here as we try to find some way to read this. All right. It's actually too clear almost. Finished block size. Why can't I focus on there? Okay, finished block size, and it says cut 2 by a square, cut 2 by a rectangle, and then cut 1 by another rectangle. This ruler, you're going to make 2 of those Cat's Cradle units at a time. Let me see, we got some better, there we go, maybe we can see there. All right, 2 of those units at a time. So it has the finished size of the block. So this one goes from 1.5 to 4 inches finished size, and they tell you what size squares to cut. You need 2 small rectangles and 1 large rectangle. The unit I'm going to show today finished at 3 inches. So we start, and here I'm going to bring it down to the table. That'll help a little bit. And we've got 2 red squares that we start with. And the ruler told us what size to cut them. So for the 3-inch, the squares were cut 2 1/4, and the rectangles were cut 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. Hey guys, it's good to see everybody joining us here. So, you'll sew each square to the rectangle, right? You get 2 units like this. And then we're going to sew those 2 units together. All right. Now, before we press that unit open, so I've got here I've got those 2 units sewn together. But before I press it, what I'm going to do is make a little snip, and that snip is like halfway between those 2 seam allowances, because what we need to do is always press towards the rectangle. Okay, I need to be able to see that whole square. So it's going to like look like this pressed open, but on the back that's snipped and each side is pressed to the rectangle. Now is where I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. That ruler comes into play. And remember, with Creative Grids, it always comes with these instructions. If you part ways with your instructions, they're available online at Creative Grids USA. Okay, so in this ruler now, I've started and I used I want a 3-inch finished, right? Let's see. Oh, first we're going to mark. Because if it hasn't yet been sewn, right, we need to always, for no matter what size, it says place on the seam line and place on the seam line. And this says here, mark sewing line. So that's why we press to the rectangle, so we can see all the seams on the square piece, okay? So these black lines are right on top of the seam line. And then I'll use either a friction pen, I've got those here, or we've got a mechanical pencil. What I'd like to do is start here in the center, right at that seam intersection, put those black lines on top of the seam lines, and then draw away from that center, just so I'm not dragging fabric. Okay. It helps that there's Creative Grids gripper on there that keeps the fabric under the ruler, but still you just want to be careful how you're doing that. Then you're going to flip that unit around, lay it on the other side, and draw a line again. Okay? So that's your sewing line. On this unit, we are going to sew right on those 2 lines. And then you can use, there's actually, everything in this is oversized. And what I like to do is use this ruler. There's a 1/4 inch seam allowance here. I put that line right on that sewn line, right? And I'm going to trim. And then I'm going to flip this other half, and I'm going to trim again. So it's actually a little more than a 1/2 inch. Let's see, there we are. The black line on the seam line. And we'll trim again. So you throw away a little bit in the middle, okay? That's what we're getting rid of. And then we've got 2 units that look like this. All right, I'm going to do this a quick press. And back to the table. So quick press, you can see how perfectly that point comes to that line here though, okay? And that was the whole point of drawing the line and putting my pencil right at that seam intersection, so that when I'm sewing this long seam, I'm going right to that point. It makes it perfect, okay? Then we're going to use this ruler to trim. So here it says trim to size, okay? I have a 3-inch finished unit that I want, so I'm going to put that 3. Okay, that 3 is going right to that point. Let me see if I can zoom in a little for you. Woohoo. Okay. All right, so there's 3. It's going right to that point. This diagonal dotted line is following the seam line. Okay, so I know I'm really nice and squared up for this trimming. Let me and zoom back out a little bit. So I'm going to trim 2 sides, and once again, I don't recommend trimming around a tripod. So there's trim 1, okay? There's 2 sides. And now I'm going to turn the block 180 degrees, but I'm going to keep the ruler in the same orientation. So back to that 3, I'm going to put that 3 so it matches right at the point, right, where that square and that blue triangle intersect. And then I'm going to put this diagonal line along the seam again. And if you're really good, and this one happens to be good here, let me show you. See how this other dashed line is coming right through the point. So that's ensuring my whole block will be square too. So 2 more trims. Once again, All right, and we've got a square unit. So now this is 3.5 inches unfinished because we're going for a 3-inch finished unit. And you can see how we're going to get 2 of those units out of those fabrics we started with. So every time you get 2 units, if you use the same colors for the squares, they're going to be identical. If you wanted to mix it up, you could use different colors for those squares. You would get something a little bit scrappier. When I'm making a whole bunch, I actually sew this as a strip set and cross-cut a bunch of them. Makes it quicker. The other unit you can make, so we saw the cat's cradle, and like I said, it's actually a large triangle too small and a square, but we didn't cut any triangles, remember, so this is a lot easier to make. No bias edges ever. The other unit we can make is the one with the little corner. So we start the same way. Here's a finished cat's cradle. And now to do that little corner piece, all you take is a square, and this one I've drawn a diagonal line, stitched on the diagonal. When I flip it, I get this unit. So again, this looks like we started with 2, 4, 5 triangles, but we actually started with squares and rectangles. So you're going to trim that off and press, and you'll get that unit. So it's pretty tricky. It's I always like tools that help me make difficult looking blocks easily, and this is one of them. So here's a block that's got 4 of those units in it, and I've got a whole quilt with those. We'll walk around in a minute. First, I want to show you, that was the small cat's cradle unit. There's also a big ruler, okay? So the first one went from finished sizes of 1.5 inches up to 4 inches, and there was a request for larger units, so they came out with a cat's cradle XL, also by Deborah Heatherly. This goes from finished block sizes from 4.5 all the way up to 8 inches, and it's used the same way. It's cut a little differently, but again, you've got those mark here for your sewing lines. You know, put these on the 2 seams of the square, and then the same for trimming. You're going to line up your square, you're going to trim 2 sides, put this diagonals along your seam line. So it's just the same technique, just for larger units. All right, I'm going to walk a little bit because it makes you sick if I'm just walking and so nothing's still. So there's 3 quilts I'm going to show you that are here in the shop. The first one, here we go, uses that block I just showed you, right? So it's just a bunch of those blocks. And it was much quicker to make than you'd ever think looking at it, because each of these units, right, is a 9 patch. It's got 4 solid squares in it and 4 of those cat's cradle. And you remember, I'm making those 2 at a time, so it goes pretty quick. This is a cut loose press pattern. It was actually designed to feature one of those rows, row by row. But you can just make all stars too. The next one is another pattern I designed. This is called Lavender Fields, and this is uses a large, the XL ruler. The blocks, here's a block, okay, and it's just 4 of those cat's cradles units with a center square, so it's a 9 patch too. This one goes really quick because the blocks are large. Lap size has got just 9 fat quarters in a background, so it's fun to make. Here's the Around We Go quilt I was talking about that uses all the different rulers, and one of the borders is cat's cradle, so here they are, and it's just a bunch of those blocks in a row. I also find I use this ruler for other blocks that have cat's cradle in it and don't call for it. This is part of one of the blocks from a pattern called Birdwalk, and you can see it's got 4 cat's cradle units in it, but they all called for, you know, each one's got a large, 2 small triangles, and a square. Well, I just made 2 sets of cat's cradle and I was done. I would have loved a square and a square in this block too, but these are smaller than any of those rulers go. So those were made the old traditional technique. So here's that Lavender Fields pattern I just showed you. So it does have options for lap, twin, queen, and king, but it's fat quarter friendly. So we've got fat quarters. If you need to make some with a bundle you have, there's an option. This is the same quilt. I made this one for Island Boutique, and it's still traveling with them. So you can see that fabric collection, how different the quilt looks, but it's the same pattern. And there's another option I just did digitally. That's a laundry basket fabrics. Here's the Friendship Star quilt I just showed you. You can see the whole thing there. And then another one with the Cradle Grids XL cornucopia. So this uses 10-inch squares, and it's another pretty quick one to make because the blocks are so large, but it comes out really pretty. So if you have a layer cake you want to do something with, that's an option. I'm trying to think what else is going on today. Like I said, I'm getting more fabrics online. If you've got requests for things to go online. Someone asked to see if you have Cradle Grids cutting mats. I don't think we have any in stock right now. I will tell you though, I do have one at home. So rather than the grain mats that we've been using forever with like the yellow markings, these are sort of a gray with teal marks, and what I find, it's easier on your eyes. It just takes everything down a notch as far as color when you're cutting. What else is going on? Tiffany's on the phone, so I'm not sure what else you want to talk about today. I know tomorrow is Ready, Set, Sold. We're going to be picking out some more items, and it seems like the hot item in that is the 5 for $5. So we'll see if we can find a few more fabrics so we can sell the 5 yards for $5. If you want, I can take a little stroll over and show you what we've been doing to get fabrics online. We have a few collections. I know boutiques, like I said, are really popular because of the mask making right now. So they're looking a little funny right now, actually. Here we go. So these are the boutiques we've got online, and if you look, they're some are under our Island Boutique category, and others are in the Tonga, so it'd be under Timeless Treasures fabrics. Okay, so that's where we're going, and then some of these down below too. And then today I just added a lot of katana fabrics. So katana are, let me turn around here and find one for you. They are, someday we'll get all these online, but it's a lot of, I'll be working, how's that, for a while. Here's a katana. So these are sort of like that confetti fabrics, and we have them in probably 20 different colors I just got online today. So those are fun, and I'm almost afraid to show you anymore because the rest of those aren't online yet. If you have a request for certain type of fabrics to be online, I know we've gotten the Abbey Rose collection from Robin Pickens. Moda Fabrics is online. I'm working to get other ones online. If there's something you need, you can give us a call. And let me see if we get one more. Oh, here we go. Drew's in the shop today. Drew's in the house. Hey, buddy. Yep. Some puppy love. Some puppy love.
I'm a person with very long hair.
There you go. All right.
Show his toys laying all over the floor.
Oh yeah, he's not picking up very well. He must be a quilter at heart. Anything you want to say, Tiffany?
Yes, of course I do.
All right, over to the boss.
Hey guys, I took the morning off a little bit to be a real person. I was just telling Julie I made a list for my husband to go to Sam's Club. I'm looking at these phones to see which one I'm supposed to keep. I I also did some dishes, and I filled the dishwasher. I put my bras in the washing machine, and I folded clothes from the dryer. Can you believe I got to do all that? Crazy. Crazy. Okay, hey, I wanted to show you something. We have orders ready to go. We just need to run them through the machine. So if you put an order in yesterday through our Facebook, then, sorry, Deb can't hear. If you put an order in with us through Facebook yesterday, I've got them ready to go, and I'll be calling you guys today. If you try to call in, be very patient, because our phones have been ringing nonstop, and you may just get a message. Okay. Anything else? How you guys doing? I am really, happy to see you. I'm happy to be here. Look how long my friggin' hair is getting. Oh my gosh. I know everybody is in the same place. So now I have resorted to a headband. Yeah, that's not good. Not good at all. All right, guys. I love that you're posting all of your quilts. I think it's awesome. Let's see if we got the Creative Grids cutting mats in. Can you show them? We don't have them in right now? Okay. Okay, we must have sold out of those. Sorry. Anything else? Everybody did well. Everybody loves the give Christine some love, because she puts these things together, and I think she does an awesome job. So thank you, Christine. Thank you very much. All right, guys, stay in touch. Stay well. Mwah. Love you. You're getting some love.